salvaged Twin Turbo Viper.
I had the craziest dream that we bought another Turbo Viper.
Yeah, we did. Well, you're 20 minutes late to go pick it up, so.
Oh. Okay.
You get out of here. Watch your Dunkin' Donuts signs.
What's going on, everyone? Dalt here with Lisi Parts in the Scrap Life Garage, and we are up here as far north and east into Pennsylvania as you can possibly get. Directly across the river there is New York State. You go down this way a little bit east and you run across the river again right into New Jersey. It is absolutely beautiful up here. I've been up here delivering parts before. The scenery, the mountain, you go right through a state park where Bushkill Falls is. The towns are very old, gives you great small town feel. It's absolutely great up here. So if you're in the, greater New York City, Philadelphia type area, it's not too far of a drive. I highly recommend checking it out. Now that I've given you Dalt's travel advice, the real reason why we are up here is this. Gen 3 underground racing built Viper. And if you would have told me at the beginning of this year that I would have the opportunity and would own not one, but two underground racing built cars, I would have called you a liar right to your face. This is a awesome opportunity that we had arise actually after the previous owner of this car saw our post about parting out the black RSI Viper that Alex was hoping to originally fix. And if this thing would have popped up a little bit sooner, Alex would have definitely pulled the trigger on this instead of the ACR. And while this makes a whole lot more power, I'm not sure that that would have been the right move. So I think that all worked out as it should have. But what we have here was an awesome opportunity. We really don't know exactly what we are going to do with this car quite yet. There's any number of different possibilities, but the fact that it is an underground racing built Viper is the reason why I'm doing a video on it, because these cars are just few and far in between. It brings back great memories for me when I was first getting into cars out of high school, when underground with the maroon GTS that they had back in the day that was fighting for the IRS record, and they were going back and forth with SW that had the Supra, and then ultimately Sal Patel with his Viper got involved in that whole kind of slugfest when they were going at it for who had the fastest IRS car at the time. And that's really what I remember about underground racing and their foundation. So to have the opportunity to buy a underground racing built Viper, really no matter what we do with it, is cool. You don't see them very often anymore. They're not working on them anymore as far as I know. So I think this is a great opportunity. We're going to hop in the truck, we're going to get it back to the shop, and we're going to see what we can find on this thing and what it actually needs to get fixed.
Because of the dub, I can't see that corner at all.
That's alright, that's all you want. Just start cutting it.
First thing we're going to do is we're going to drain the oil on it. Alex is kind of poking his head around it now. We'll get his opinion on it. But we're going to drain the oil on it. We're going to see what it comes back with, because that's going to tell us a lot of what we need to know. If it has shavings in it, then that pretty much tells you that there's something heavy wrong with the motor, which is what we bought it under the pretense of. And if it's relatively clean, though, then, we got maybe something else where the noise might be a lifter, maybe a rocker. That would be, I think, probably the nicest thing, if that's what it was. But it is a very, very clean car overall.
Nice. This is a completely different level from the RSI car.
Yeah, you can just see that the overall quality.
Immediately, the second you pop the hood, you can just see the overall quality is just completely different than the RSI car. As to be expected.
Yeah. Alrighty, well, let's put this thing up. Let's get a look underneath, because we've seen the top. Let's see what it looks like from the bottom. Fernando was already trying to get Alex to put these wheels on the ACR, which, aside from having giant meaty tire in the back. I don't think it's the right look, and neither does he. Alrighty. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, and like even little stuff, like you can see they actually fully heat sleeved where it goes through the frame rail here. On the other car, they had like cut pieces of like rubber hoses, and it was like kind of spliced where this actually has an actual heat sleeve. What you got?
They don't have like intakes, like intake tubes.
Oh, for the.
They just have a
it
filter
has
on it because they, I guess, felt like they didn't have room or something.
Alrighty, so as far as like the rear end and stuff, what did they? Yeah, motons.
This one has factory axles.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, I gotta look at the thing again, but it was.
There's the pump right there. It's a big old external pump.
Yeah, it was an aftermarket LSD. These Gen 3s are really known for having diff issues and trying to kill you because of it.
So I think that this whole underbody panel is not factory. I don't remember that being on the other car. As far as the trans, do you remember anything about the trans?
Trans is a built level 5.
Yeah, RPM. There's a tag.
RPM,
Yeah, tag right there.
Built level 5 RPM.
Get the flashlight back there. Built level 5 RPM. Yeah, it's painted black and everything.
But yeah, this one is a.
And this one doesn't have that like billet intermediate plate or whatever, like the other one did. Okay.
Yeah, they tuck their gates over there, which I like, rather than RSI had them in here.
Yeah.
And they tuck their gates over in this corner. The turbo just fits a lot better how they have it.
It does look like this is maybe a little bit of oil. Yeah, it does have some oil up here. It must have a leak from somewhere.
It's right here. It's actually looks like power steering fluid, to be honest.
Oh, is it?
And they are known for having power
Oh,
steering.
yeah, you can see that right there, yeah. Okay.
Gen 3s are known for that shit. Yeah, you can see it right there at the bottom of the pump with the one.
Just initially, it looks like it's metal to me.
It looks like it does or doesn't?
It does.
I can't see it, so. Got a light?
It didn't really, yeah. I don't know, look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look at that.
That's all.
Yeah, so you can see how it's like separating.
Yep. Separating, you should also, if you take the filter out, you should be able to shine a light into it, and it'll be freaking
Where am I light? Yeah.
cloudy as can be.
Yeah, super metallic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, look at all that.
Yep. Yep. Just ate a bearing up. But
That doesn't look, I mean, it doesn't
pull,
have chunks
so
or anything,
exactly,
so.
no chunks is a good sign. That means it could have saved the crank.
Alright, well, let's see what it does here, coming down here. Just get Tyler's face here. Alright, Tyler, this one's going to be next for you.
Oh no.
Checked his phone real quick, like, do I have a dog to walk, or...
So now that we have drained the oil on it and we found the shavings in it, or at least the shimmer, there's really no heavy shavings or anything like that, which is probably a good sign. But obviously the metal shimmer in it tells us that it is something with the motor, that it's going to have to be pulled out and gone through. You know, again, we were hoping maybe optimistically it was something like a broken rocker or something like that, where you wouldn't have to tear the whole motor down. But at this point, with what we found, the motor's going to have to be gone through. So really, it's decision time. And you guys will have to let us know in the comments what you think the way to go with this car is. Do we pull the motor out, you know, pull the turbo kit off of it, all the aftermarket stuff that's on the car, put it back to stock, sell it as a stock car? Maybe not even go to that effort, but take some of the stuff off of it, sell the parts like we normally do, and maybe even sell it as a roller for somebody to do whatever project they want to do, whatever motor they want to throw into the thing. Refresh this motor, which is probably the riskiest option, because if you get into it and it needs a crank or something like that, then the dollar signs can start adding up. The other option that we would have as far as the motor goes is we have the motor from the RSI car sitting up in the showroom, and it actually leaked down very, very well for a built motor. It seems to be a very healthy motor. So something like that could almost be a plug and play, throw a retune on it, and then the car would be ready to be sold and enjoyed by somebody else in its completed form with just a different motor into it. So let us know in the comments what you guys think, what route you think that we should go on it, maybe what route you would go on it. That might be the same answer, but let us know, give us a little bit of input on it. What we're going to do here before I let you all go is we're going to pop over and do a little bit of work on the other underground car that we have here, the R8, because we have a really, really busy weekend planned with it. So we have a couple things that we need to do on the R8 to get it ready for this weekend. We are dragging it down to the Tampa, Florida area to go to the TRC Street Kings event, which I am very excited about because of the way that the back half of the year played out. I damaged the radiator before going to the Slipstream event at Pocono, so we missed that. And then the following weekend was the Race Motive event that we took the car up to that basically got rained out. We got to make one pass. We were able to take DIY gang for a ride, Jay, and he had a blast in the car, but the air quality was absolutely awful. So we didn't really get a good idea of what the car can do on its max setting. So this event is shaping up to be really a great one. It looks like the weather is going to be great for it. I haven't really checked like what the DA is going to be and everything, but the temperature looks great. Should hopefully be low humidity. So I think we're going to have really a blast running the car down there, and we'll have fun no matter what. There's going to be a lot of fast cars there. We'll find some stuff to match up with and have a good time. So what we need to do is we already have fuel in it. We need to go through, we need to do the plugs, we need to check fluids, just make sure everything is good to go before we get it loaded in the trailer. One other announcement along these lines is that there is going to be a feature coming out on TRC's channel, that racing channel, that is about the R8. They were out this past week and they did a shoot on the car in preparation for the event coming up. I'm not sure if it's going to launch right before the event or right after, but what I will do is I will put a link directly over to that once it does in the description for this video. And if you guys aren't following them already, you should be, because they have great content. There's plenty of awesome cars on there, and soon to be the R8.
Alrighty, so the plugs on the R8 here aren't the absolute worst in the world. You can get to everything from the top. Obviously, there are some cars that are just, an absolute nightmare and you have to take stuff apart. This one, there's just limited access. The way that Audi did this, where the entire coil pack harness, all of them are connected, can be a little bit difficult because you have to slide them off like kind of in a row and everything, and sometimes if you move one, the other one will clip back in. You got to go back and unclip it. The only other thing is you have to use 2 3-inch extensions. You can't use a 6-inch, so basically you have to drop that down into the hole and then hook that one onto it, because the 6-inch there isn't enough room here to here. So again, not the worst thing in the world. We already have a couple of the old plugs out. And you can see plugs themselves, they don't look that bad. You just really have to get up on it, and I probably can't really get it in the camera, especially with the way it wants to focus. But you just get these little tiny deposits that are on it. All right, that's going to do it. The R8 is ready to go. The only thing left to do is get it loaded up and head on down to Florida. Next week, we're going to have yet another new introduction to the channel. Lee has been teasing you guys for weeks. He's going down to pick up the lifted Miata from
Chris Rudnick, Ricer Miata, and he's going to be driving the thing home. I'll also have a video that will be highlighting our trip down with the R8, the racing, the matchups that we've managed to find, all the good stuff down there. There's going to be a whole lot of fast cars at this TRC Street Kings event. Really, really looking forward to it. Everybody that's been tuning into our videos, again, we really appreciate the support, and stay tuned for more content as we go into the holiday here.